Ryan Halls, co-founder of Hugh Partners. What are the five major forces impacting RIA M&A as we lead into 2026?
Yeah, well, Chris, obviously great to be back with you and appreciate the question. Um, 2025 has been a banner year. I mean, no doubt about it. This year, kind of before we look to 2026, you got to look back to 2025 because this is going to be the busiest year ever for M&A activity across the wealth management space. And I think that there are a number of factors that have driven that, both in the market, the competitive environment across different acquirers, certainly the value proposition for firms that are considering partnership or selling, but we're not even done yet, right? So there's going to be a number of deals, and I suspect more to come that'll be announced here before the end of the year. But we've already far surpassed any of the previous records that have been set in our space. So with that, buckle up because I don't think anything's going to slow down next year. I mean, truly, it's with just what we're seeing and the momentum that's being built already for transactions that are going to be occurring next year. There's a lot to look forward to and a lot of excitement for 2026. I think there are. I mean, no crystal ball, but it's easy to point from our chair. Probably five things that some people aren't necessarily thinking about, and really what that looks like is. One, artificial intelligence. I mean, artificial intelligence, AI. I mean, it's just intelligence at this point, and it is. It's the new competitive frontier. And I think when you look back and you think about digital marketing, digital footprint, how technology has evolved our space, we are just getting started. And I think one of the interesting lessons that we've learned is the robo advisor concept and kind of digitizing the client experience. It didn't replace traditional advice. People want guidance and expertise and a steady hand from a human being. Um, but how do you drive efficiencies and how do you help high functioning advisors do more for their clients? How do you help those advisors find more clients to serve? And as far as AI is considered, the types of tasks and work that can be automated and institutionalized is tremendous. And the larger firms that are investing millions and tens of millions of dollars into the AI ecosystem are frankly designing firms that are going to be more competitive in the future, just as those who in the past were investing in digital and technology, emerged as leaders. So that is easily one and number one on the board for next year. I think the second one, and sometimes an afterthought, is legal counsel. Legal counsel that is advising these transactions is becoming more and more important, and it can't be an afterthought. As firms are designing the team of advisors that's going to represent them in a transaction, certainly there's M&A advice, but legal counsel, and frankly, legal counsel that's experienced with RIA M&A, and frankly, some of the potential partners that you might be transacting with, it's worth its weight in gold. And frankly, it's one that we advise clients all the time. Like, it's not an expense; it is an asset to have someone who can save you time, can give you high quality guidance, knows what is market and what is competitive in a transaction. And I think that the generalist M&A attorney is terrific at what they do, but having an M&A attorney who specializes in RIA transactions is one that needs to be given thought earlier in the process, to save yourself a lot of just confusion, question marks, and frankly, legal expenses part of the deal, later on. The third is truly it's all about the brand, but it's about the brand of the individual. And what I mean by that is, as M&A activity, reaches the levels that we are, these are partnerships. These are, two firms coming together to become one. And a lot of times, there's a brand in there that becomes part of another one. And advisors have historically leaned on their brand and the name, on the front of the jersey, so to speak. But the reality is, your clients, they do business with the name on the back of your jersey. They're doing business with a person. When people refer an advisor, they're referring another person. And I think this is one of the most interesting, and frankly, it's one of the most emotionally charged parts of what we're looking at because, um, these are entrepreneurs. I mean, these are people who have built phenomenal firms, incredibly valuable firms. Their clients recognize their brand. But the reality is, there isn't yet that universal name recognition in our space, in the RIA industry, that most people know and recognize the way that the wirehouses are recognized. And I think that that will continue to evolve. But what's most important is that in the brand conversation, it's the brand of the individual, it's the brand of the founder, it's the brand of that lead advisor, it's the brand of the experience that your team is delivering that clients have come to depend on. Um, the fourth, and this one is going to be exciting to watch, but it is just these mergers of equals. I think gone are the days of big firms just acquiring assets, and it is truly about bringing potentially scaled firms together in ways that is a little bit novel in our space. And so I don't think we'll ever get to just three airlines in the RIA space. Like we will continue to have very, very high quality diversified providers in our space of all sizes. But I think that we're starting to see real conversations start across firms that you might not necessarily think of as coming together. And all you have to do is look to the Focus portfolio and what they've done in being able to bring together firms that were scaled and truly self-sufficient under one brand. And I think that when you start to look outside of just that one, ecosystem, there are firms that today are not necessarily affiliated that I think are recognizable brands to us professional practitioners that won't exist, at the end of next year or into 2027. So the last one, just to round it out, it's been interesting to see the increase and decrease over time of departures from the wirehouses. And this is one that we circle. It feels like when capital markets are strong, there's more RIA M&A activity. And then when capital markets are weaker, you see more departures and frustration in the wirehouse channels. But that thesis is starting to break down. And we saw this through the year. Some of the marquee wirehouse teams that have for decades been synonymous with a Merrill, a UBS, a Morgan, a Goldman, whomever. Those firms are mobile, and those teams are looking out into the RIA landscape and saying, culturally, economically, technologically, I can do what I do best for my clients, but create more value for them, create more value for ourselves, create more value for our team inside of an RIA environment. And the advantage of the wirehouse, while still recognizable, I think is starting to accelerate the move of what was traditional wirehouse advisors and traditional brokers into the RIA space. And I think that that's only going to continue as we look to next year. So between those five, Chris, right, AI, good quality legal counsel, the brand of the founder and the advisor, mergers of equals and mega deals, and then accelerated departures from the wirehouses. No crystal ball, but if I had to guess, when we have this conversation at the end of next year, we'll reflect on these five forces and know that they each played a role in impacting what will be, I think, another exciting and banner year for the space.
Ryan, excellent insights. I think that these 5 points are things that everyone really needs to keep in mind. RIAs, people in wirehouses considering exiting, as well as the wealth tech providers that are going to be crucial for firms that are merging or wirehouse advisors that are leaving. So thank you very much for your time.
Oh, very glad to be here, Chris. Appreciate everything you do for our industry and grateful for the opportunity to talk to your audience.